Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Thank you very much and good morning. One of the most important things about the culmination of this process is that the finance minister needed to own the decision and make the announcement first, because the role of the treasury is written into our constitution. It enjoys a certain level of independence that must never be compromised. I also want to thank him for engaging earnestly with the proposals that have been put forward by political parties. He has made Treasury officials available to carefully consider the proposals put on the table. So as we do this and as we move forward, it is important that we understand that we cannot create a scenario where we have a Treasury only in name, but not in substance. We have an outcome today that the finance minister feels comfortable to own, together with the parties that hold a majority in parliament right now. That is the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is that this process has been about freeing the finance minister from extortion. We can now proceed with the budget without also having to talk about legislation that has already been passed by parliament. This is what this has been about. We cannot hold budgets hostage to other political priorities that have nothing to do with appropriation. I want to invite my former colleagues in journalism, speak to fixed income analysts and economists. Ask them how the bond yield curve has looked since the 19th of February. I can tell you our debt servicing costs have gone up by more than 30 to 35 billion rand. Because as a political party that wanted to hold the budgeting process hostage. None of us were happy about the VaT increase. But I said on the 19th of February, repeatedly, that there will be no culmination to this process where nobody takes tough decisions. We must be prepared to take tough decisions. I also want to put something in perspective. The VaT is 0.05% of a 2.6 trillion rand budget. 0.05%. Political parties are sitting in court because the maturity to sit in a room and discuss matters that relate to the budget and the budget only is not there. We must not succumb to misinformation and the disinformation that has happened over the last 2 months. The finance minister is now free to do his job. The law says Parliament must approve or amend the budget. As the finance minister's statement says, we must now go back and find 75 billion rand over the next 3 years. In a budget that will clear 7.8 trillion. It's not a lot of money. We must have the resolve and the maturity to do it and to do it in a way that does not negatively affect poor South Africans. Expenditure reviews will happen. It is not up to any political party to say they are the alpha and omega of how to make Parliament more efficient. I'm the chairperson of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts. I know very well, to minute detail, the level of waste there is in the government. And to propose that the Treasury has done no work on expenditure reviews is a lie. I have the spreadsheets. They run to tens of pages. The job of Parliament is to do the work and not do political grandstanding. We can't make South Africans wait longer for land justice because someone knows the VaT issue will be emotional. Yes. And they use it. We can't break up Transnet so that a political party can have its own in a province that it runs. We cannot break up the passenger rail agency so that a political party can have its own. Those were the points of extortion. And we must challenge them. This is not the time to mislead the South African people, because we know the people are desperate. There are those who claim some of us were fools who didn't know what we're talking about. We're standing here today. We've got a solution. The court case is not done. There's been no judgment and no legal settlement. Yet they're claiming victory. But I can tell you, all of the points of extortion they placed on the table, they're not on the table anymore. If anybody wants to reverse legislation, they must earn a majority, amend the legislation, take it back to Parliament, and win that amendment to the legislation, following consultations with South Africans, so that you can look them in the eye and tell them why they must wait longer for justice to be delivered. The final thing I want to say is this. Budgets are about expenditure priorities. What is important enough for the government to fund? Please go and ask those political parties that have had a lot to say what it is that their priorities wanted in this budget. They have never said so. Never. Yet some of us, we've said we want South Africans to be able to get onto